for those of us who are looking to be in relationships, then we have some things that we may want to consider implementing into our lives to help us to be more secure, to be more stable in our relationships. Of course, that word commitment is something for us to consider. Right now, I could say it doesn't, we don't necessarily know what that means in our community. What does it mean to commit to something? We have a hard time committing to working for our people, or committing to relationships, and committing to doing stuff for our own selves. So I would say that is a place to start, working on committing yourself to something. You know, they say that those who don't have a purpose, you know, if you don't live for something, you'll fall for anything, or you'll die for nothing. And so when you have a purpose, you have to be committed to it. You have to be committed to yourself. You have to be committed to raising your children in a certain way. You have to be committed to being a productive member of your community. You have to be committed to a relationship that you say that you want to be in. You know, those are like basic things that we can do right now to make some changes. And then I also have some other tips that were given by my spirit guides that I want to share. We should know the difference between love and lust. And love is something that is, it grows over time. Love is not something that when you see someone you just want to be with them and, you know, have sex with them. That is lust. That's not love. It feels good. You confuse it because of the movies, make you think, you know, romance and all of that is the same. But love is something that you really have for someone after building trust in them, after realizing that you know, respect them, you honor them, you depend on them, and you know that you can. All of these kind of things actually build love. We also want to not go into relationships based on physical attraction or material things and expect it to work. I have some clients who have shared these kind of ideas about, you know, they want to be with him because of what he has, and you know, that's just very shallow, and that kind of thought pattern speaks to one's own insecurity, because they don't feel they have what they need for themselves, nor do they know how to get it, so they want to get it from someone else, and that kind of relationship is not going to last. So basically, you know, dealing with your own self, being able to take care of yourself, and then joining with another is something that builds a strong relationship, from what I understand. You also may want to consult some elders and get a reading about the person before getting serious with them, before being intimate with them. You may want to ask, you know, take the person around to your elders, to your family members, and, you know, let them get a look at them, let them feel their energy and see what they say. And then also do the astrology readings, the numerology reports. Go ahead and get a reading from a higher priest or priestess who can give you, you know, some guidance on relationship. All of those things can be very important, because we can't always just go on how we feel or what we think we need or what we think we want. That's not always really what's best for us, and that person that we think we want is not always compatible with us. And compatibility is important in a relationship. So we want to check that compatibility through those reports. And you want to be celibate between your relationships for 6 months to a year or more. After you finish dealing with someone intimately, you need to give your body a chance and your aura field a chance to clear itself from that person. Give your emotions, your heart a chance. Give your mind a chance to not have someone else to think about. Just take some time to heal yourself when you break up with someone. That is going to be very important, so that you don't carry the baggage from the other relationship into your next ones. So definitely you want to take some time for yourself. Build your own strength up. heal your heart, and then move on to the next relationship. And when it comes to relating to people, sometimes you have to remember to keep it fresh and be flexible. Be open to change some of the things that you do, because it's very rare you'll find someone who lives exactly like you live. When you do, then you know that's a blessing. But some ways you'll have a lot of ways that you are compatible, a lot of things that you do similar, and then there'll be some differences. And you don't want to close yourself off because you are this way. You want to be able to open yourself up to learn, to grow, and to share and bond with that person that you think you want to be with. Make sure that you once again meet the family members before getting serious, because the joining of the two is not just joining two, it is the joining of two families. And it's very important to have that family support in a relationship, because that can be, it can make a huge difference when problems come up. You can have, family members who have experience, who can help you get through those problems if they are in agreement with the relationship. So that is very important. You want to make sure you have someone with the same spiritual foundation. That adds strength to the relationship, because when you're praying to the same God, which we know that the Creator has many names, and it's the same Creator that we're praying to, but there are differences in belief systems. Some people are more open, some people are not. Either way, it's good to have a very same or similar spiritual understanding, and that is going to give strength as opposed to adding that friction to the relationship. Let's see. Let's talk about the abuse. We know that there is a lot of sickness in our community, and there is a lot of abuse in our community, and sometimes we fool ourselves into accepting abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. Abuse of any kind is not acceptable. It is no one has the right to disrespect you, to speak to you, or to treat you in a bad way. And if that kind of thing is happening, then you need to stop that right now. It's only happening because you are allowing it to happen by staying there. You got to get out of those kind of situations. However, whatever kind of abuse it is, the person who is doing the abusing is doing it because they are hurting inside and need to deal with themselves. They're not going to do it when they're in a relationship with someone. And they definitely have to deal with it, because it will not stop just because they say they're going to stop. They have to do some work to stop that kind of behavior. So definitely anyone who's listening to this, if you're in an abusive relationship at all, please leave. Please find a way to get out, because it's not going to be any better for you or that person until someone does leave or other things can happen, and we don't want those things to happen. Remember that the greatest love is the love of self. You cannot love someone else if you don't love yourself. I've seen it. I've been counseling sisters for over 10 years, and I've seen it so many times. Relationships ending because one or the other or both parties do not fully love themselves, and they're trying to find love in someone else that they have to really give to themselves first. It's just like a law of the universe. So if you're in that kind of situation, think about that, and please deal with that. Love yourself, honor yourself, treat yourself right, do things that are best for yourself, do things that make you feel good. It's okay to be a little selfish sometimes. Don't be too selfish. We thank you so much for listening. We pray these words will be helpful to you. Until the next time, peace and blessings.